Tell me, what constitutes living the thug life? Personally, I thought it was any small act of defiance against authority. Walking on the left side of the hallway, thug life. Wearing white after Labor Day, thug life. Staying up until 10:30 on a school night, thug life. Okay, but seriously, don't tell my mom because my bedtime's at 9. Now, I know what you're thinking. Caleb, you are not cut out for the thug life. Well, buddy, you'd be right. But if not me, who and what is the true classification of a thug? Well, ask no further. I'm going to take you through the basics of Thuganomics by first examining the origins of the word thug, its present usage, before finally discussing who and who would not be classified as a true thug. We've all heard the term before, and in some cases have used the word ourselves. The word became associated with the hip-hop scene during the early 90s with artists such as Tupac Shakur and the group Bone Thugs and Harmony being at the forefront of it all. But the word's true history dates back to mid-1300s India. According to a 2019 Atlantic article, the word comes from the Hindi term thugee and is derived from the word thag, which means deceiver, thief, or swindler. These thugs in India were a gang of professional thieves and assassins who operated during the 14th century. Mark Twain became one of the first Americans to report on this group in his book titled Following the Equator, A Journey Around the World, which immediately caught the public eye during the 19th century. Now, these thugs made their living by joining travelers, gaining their trust, murdering them, strangulation was their preferred method, and stealing all their valuables. So they're basically your typical Kardashian. The word is now commonly used in music and pop culture. For instance, a search for the word thug on Spotify yields over 100 artists with the word in their moniker. And the lyrics app, Genius, retrieves 14,660 results for thug in lyrics, songs, and artist names. Now that's a lot of thugs in one place. The word also had introductions into movies such as Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, in which the plotline follows a kidnapping by a group of thugs. The movie received great acclamation, although it was heavily criticized by the Indian American community, who fought to reclaim the word to avoid its negative connotation, despite having the opposite effect. More recently, as NPR notes, there have been attempts to reclaim, or re-reclaim, or re-re-reclaim the word through heavy irony. There's the blog Thug's Kitchen, which is dedicated to the sharing of healthy recipes and cooking tips. There's Thug Lit in publishing, which refers to the fictional genres that have yet to break into mainstream. And then there are all those thug-like memes. Given all that, who is and who is not a true thug? Well, a true thug, as stated by Trisha Rose in her book titled The Hip Hop Wars, both represents a product of discriminatory conditions and embodies the very behaviors that injure the communities from which they come. So, in this conception, thugs are both victims and agents of injustice. They are both products and producers of violence. So, it is fitting, as the word's history suggests, that there's a kind of universality to thuggery. Thugs aren't necessarily evil, but they're not angels either. Thugs aren't necessarily opposed to the will of good. They're not unsympathetic or sympathetic, which in other words just means they're human, nothing more. So, let's recap our Thuganomics lesson. We took a look at the origins of the word thug, its present usage, and what fits its etymology. Obviously, not myself, but that is okay, because I know I'm not a thug. But if the thug life chose me, then yeah, I'll think about it. But I think I have to ask my